Some photographs have the power to shatter your entire world. The one in my hands, torn precisely down the middle, with my father's image brutally excised, did exactly that. I'm Ella, and until 10 minutes ago, I thought I was just doing my mother a favor by organizing her dresser drawers while she recovered from minor surgery. Now, standing in her bedroom with trembling hands, I realize I've stumbled onto something far more sinister. "What are you doing in here?" Mother's voice cuts through the air like a whip. She's standing in the doorway, one hand gripping her walking cane, the other pressed against the doorframe. For someone who's supposed to be resting, she moves remarkably fast. "I found this." I hold up the mutilated photograph. "Care to explain why you're literally cutting Dad out of our family history?" Her face hardens. "Put that back where you found it." "No, I want to know why." "And where are all the other photos? The ones from my graduation, my 16th birthday, that summer in Maine?" "Those memories aren't relevant anymore." She limps into the room, her designer nightgown swishing against the hardwood floor. "Your father isn't part of our lives now. We have Alan. We have Megan. We've moved forward." "Moved forward?" The words taste bitter in my mouth. "You're trying to erase him, like he never existed." "Don't be dramatic, Ella. It doesn't suit you." She reaches for the photograph, but I pull it away. "Your father chose his path when he refused to adapt to our lifestyle. He couldn't handle success, couldn't handle moving up in the world. He was content being ordinary." "Being honest, you mean? He didn't want to play social climbing games with Alan's crowd." Her laugh is sharp, dismissive. "Is that what he told you? Your father was weak. He held us back. Alan gave us everything. This house, your education, the connections that got you your job at the tech company." "Dad paid for my education," I snap. "Every penny of it. Through the alimony you demanded." Something flickers across her face. Guilt, fear, it's gone before I can identify it. "You're being ridiculous. Now give me that photograph and go home. Ryan must be wondering where you are. Ryan knows exactly where I am. And he knows what you're like." I carefully fold the photograph and slip it into my pocket. "You know what's interesting, Mother? You're so focused on erasing Dad that you didn't notice what else was in that drawer." She freezes. "What are you talking about?" "The bank statements. The ones showing where Dad's alimony payments really went. Not to my education, but to Alan's failing business ventures." I watch the color drain from her face. "Funny how that worked out, isn't it? You had no right to look at those documents." Her voice shakes with rage. "Those are private matters between Alan and me." "Private fraud, you mean? Because I'm pretty sure the court would be interested in knowing how you've been misappropriating those funds." She straightens, her chin lifting. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm stating facts, just like you stated facts about Dad being ordinary and weak. The difference is, I have proof." "Get out." She points toward the door with a trembling finger. "Get out of my house right now, and don't come back until you've learned some respect." I walk past her, pausing in the doorway. "You know what the real difference is between you and Dad. He never had to destroy someone else to feel worthy." As I drive home, the torn photograph burns in my pocket like a brand. My hands grip the steering wheel until my knuckles turn white. I always knew my mother was capable of cruelty, but this systematic erasure of my father, this calculated destruction of his presence in our family history, it's different, it's war. And if she wants war, I'll give her one. Because some things are worth fighting for, and some betrayals can never be forgiven. The truth is, I'm my father's daughter, and like him, I know how to play the long game. The crystal wine glasses clink with artificial cheer as Alan raises his for yet another toast. Father's Day dinner at their mansion, a tradition Mother insists on maintaining, despite having effectively exiled my actual father from our lives. To family, Alan announces, his cultured voice carrying across the formal dining room. And to new beginnings, I catch Megan rolling her eyes across the table. At least my half-sister sees through this charade. Ryan squeezes my hand under the table, a silent anchor keeping me from drowning in the hypocrisy. "Speaking of new beginnings," Mother says, dabbing her lips with a monogrammed napkin. "Ella, darling, I heard through Caroline that the Peterson Group is looking for a project manager, much more suitable than your current position. I'm leading my own team at Oracle Tech, Mother. I don't need the Petersons' nepotism." Don't be naive. Connections are everything in this world. Look how well Alan's guidance helped you secure your current role. Ryan stiffens beside me. He'd recommended me for the position, not Alan. Before I can correct her, Mother continues. Besides, the Petersons' son Thomas is recently divorced. He always had a soft spot for you in high school. I'm engaged, I remind her, twisting the diamond ring on my finger. To Ryan, remember? Of course, dear, but engagements can be fluid. One should always keep their options open. The silence that follows is deafening. Ryan's fork scrapes against his plate with deliberate precision. Mother, Megan interjects, maybe we could talk about something else, like my study abroad plans. Ah, yes, Mother brightens immediately. Alan and I have been discussing your future. Cambridge would be perfect for you. We've already spoken to the dean. Cambridge? I set down my wine glass. That's expensive, even with Dad's alimony. Your father's contributions are irrelevant, Mother cuts in sharply. We have everything arranged. A sudden horrible suspicion takes root. With what money exactly? That's hardly dinner conversation, Alan interrupts smoothly. More wine, anyone? No. I push back my chair. I want to know, because Dad's been sending regular payments for my education fund. Where did that money go? Mother's face hardens. Ella, you're making a scene. Answer the question. Your education fund has been reallocated. Megan's future takes priority now. You're established, with a adequate career. Ryan stands abruptly. We should go. Sit down, Mother commands. Both of you. We haven't finished discussing your career options, Ella. The Petersons are irrelevant, I finish. Just like Dad's contributions were irrelevant, just like my future is irrelevant. You're being dramatic, again. Mother sighs theatrically. This is why we worry about you, dear. Such emotional instability. Perhaps you should consider therapy before making any permanent decisions about marriage. Ryan's chair scrapes back. Mrs. Harrison, with all due respect. That's quite enough, Alan interrupts. Ella, your mother only wants what's best for you. Sometimes that means making difficult decisions. Like stealing my education fund for Megan. The words explode out of me. Or using Dad's alimony to prop up your failing business ventures. The colour drains from Alan's face. Mother's wine glass trembles in her hand. How dare you, she whispers. After everything we've done for you, everything you've done to me, I correct her, and to Dad, and now to Megan. It never ends with you, does it? Megan looks between us, confusion clouding her features. What's she talking about, Mom? Nothing, darling. Your sister is just having one of her episodes. Episodes? I laugh bitterly. Is that what we're calling the truth now? I stand, pulling Ryan with me. Enjoy Cambridge, Megan. I hope it's worth the price. Ella, Mother calls as we reach the door. If you walk out now, don't expect to be welcome back. I turn, meeting her gaze. Don't worry, Mother. I wouldn't dream of interrupting your perfect new family again. But remember, karma has a way of balancing the books. As Ryan drives us home, the torn photograph in my pocket seems to burn with new intensity. Mother thinks she's won, that she's successfully erased Dad and replaced him with her gilded new life. She has no idea what's coming, because now I have proof of her financial manipulation, and more importantly, I have nothing left to lose. The game is just beginning. The financial records spread across my kitchen table tell a story of systematic betrayal. Each bank statement, each transfer notification, each carefully hidden transaction forms another piece of the puzzle I've spent weeks assembling. Ryan enters, setting down 2 cups of coffee. You need to see this, I tell him, pushing forward a particular document. Look at the dates. He studies the paper, his jaw tightening. The same day your dad made his alimony payment. Every month for the past 3 years, Mother transferred the exact amount to Alan's business account within hours of receiving it. My fingers trace the numbers. Dad's been working double shifts to make these payments, thinking they were for my education fund. Have you told him? The question hangs heavy in the air. How do you tell someone their ex-wife has been stealing from them for years? My phone buzzes. A text from Megan. Mum's freaking out. Says you've been accessing private accounts. What's going on? Before I can respond, Mother's name flashes on my screen. I let it ring. You'll have to face her eventually, Ryan says. I know, but first I need to talk to Dad. Dad's apartment building hasn't changed since the divorce. Same cracked steps, same flickering hallway lights. He opens the door, wearing his mechanic's uniform, grease still under his fingernails. Ella, everything okay, sweetheart? I hold up the folder of documents. We need to talk. His face falls as I lay out the evidence. Each revelation hits him like a physical blow. The diverted payments, Alan's failing business, Mother's elaborate web of lies. I should have known, he says finally, his voice hollow. When Laura started demanding more alimony, claiming it was for your future, he rubs his face. I was so focused on making sure you had opportunities, I didn't question it. Dad, this isn't your fault. Isn't it? I knew what your mother was like, how she'd do anything to maintain her lifestyle. He picks up one of the bank statements. Does Alan know? He's complicit. They've been working together too. My phone interrupts, Mother's name appearing again. This time I answer. How dare you? Her voice trembles with rage. Breaking into private accounts, spreading lies about your family. They're not lies if I have proof. Proof? You have nothing but misinterpreted documents and your own bitter imagination. If you continue with these ridiculous accusations, you'll what? Cut me off? Steal more money? Try to sabotage my relationship again? I'm trying to protect you, she hisses. You have no idea what you're doing. If you pursue this, there will be consequences. For everyone. Dad gently takes the phone. Hello, Laura. His voice is steady, controlled. I think it's time we had a conversation about fraud. The silence on the other end is deafening. I've worked every available shift for 3 years to provide for our daughter's future, he continues. If you think I won't pursue legal action... Frank, she cuts in, her tone suddenly honeyed. Surely we can discuss this reasonably, like adults, without involving lawyers or making hasty decisions. The time for discussion was before you started stealing from our daughter. Stealing. I was investing in our family's future. Alan's business ventures are failing, I interrupt, leaning toward the phone. Just like everything else built on lies. You ungrateful child. After everything we've done for you, save it, Dad says. Expect to hear from my lawyer. As he ends the call, my phone immediately lights up with texts from Megan. Mom's hysterical. Alan's threatening to sue. What did you do? I show Dad the messages. This is just the beginning, isn't it? He nods grimly. Your mother won't go down without a fight. Are you sure you want to do this? I think of the torn photograph, still in my pocket, of years of manipulation and lies, of Dad working himself to exhaustion while Mother and Alan lived in luxury. Some things are worth fighting for, I tell him, echoing his words from years ago. And some people need to learn that actions have consequences. My phone buzzes again, an email from Mother's lawyer. The war has officially begun, but this time, I'm ready for battle. The lawyer's office feels too small for the weight of what I'm about to learn. Dad sits beside me, his weathered hands clasped tightly in his lap, while his attorney, Marcus Chen, reviews the documents we've gathered. This goes beyond simple misappropriation, Marcus says, spreading out the financial records. They've been systematically... A knock interrupts us. His secretary peers in. Sorry, but there's an urgent call from the Harrison residence. Mrs. Harrison insists it's an emergency. I share a look with Dad. Put it through. Megan's voice fills the room, breathless and panicked. Ella, you need to come home right now. Mom's selling everything. Your old stuff, the family albums, everything from before Alan. She says if you want to play hardball, she'll make sure there's nothing left of your past to fight for. My throat tightens. What do you mean, selling? There's an estate sale company here. They're pricing Frank's, old desk, your childhood books, even Mom's wedding ring from him. She says it's all just worthless baggage now. Marcus raises an eyebrow, making notes. Dad's knuckles whiten. Try to stall them, I tell Megan. I'm on my way. There's more, she adds, voice dropping. I overheard Mum on the phone with Cambridge. She's using your old college fund, what's left of it, as a deposit for my tuition. She says it's only fair since you're trying to destroy the family. The familiar gates of the Harrison estate mock me as I pull up 30 minutes later. The circular driveway is lined with expensive cars, vultures disguised as antique dealers, picking through the bones of my childhood. Mother stands in the foyer, directing workers with regal efficiency. Her face hardens when she sees me. Come to survey the damage. She gestures to a pile of tagged items. Amazing how much worthless junk one accumulates over the years. I spot Dad's desk among the items, the one he built by hand for my 13th birthday. The price tag reads $50. This isn't about the money anymore, is it? I ask quietly. Oh, but it is. You want to talk about stolen funds? Let's discuss how much your father's inadequacies cost this family. Years of living below our potential, of making do with less than we deserved. We were happy. You were ignorant. She picks up a photo album, carelessly flipping pages. Look at these. Camping trips in a borrowed tent. Birthday parties at fast food restaurants. Is that what you're fighting so hard to preserve? Those memories are real, unlike everything you've built here. Real doesn't pay for Cambridge, she snaps. Real doesn't secure Megan's future. I learned that lesson with you. Sentiment is worthless in this world. A worker approaches with Dad's desk. Where do you want this, Mrs. Harrison? The dumpster will do. Stop. My voice shakes. That desk isn't yours to sell. Everything here belongs to me now. Alan made sure of that in the divorce settlement. Her smile turns cruel. Speaking of Alan, he's fascinated by your little investigation, especially the part where you accessed private company records. His lawyers are quite interested in pursuing corporate espionage charges. The threat lands like a physical blow. My job, my future with Ryan, everything I've worked for. She'd destroy it all to maintain control. Megan appears at the top of the stairs, her face pale. Mum, please. This is going too far. Stay out of this, darling. Your sister needs to learn that actions have consequences. I look around at the dismantled pieces of my past, the books Dad read to me, the photos of happier times, the handmade furniture that represented his love, all reduced to price tags and profit margins. You're right, I say finally. Actions do have consequences, and you've just shown me exactly what needs to be done. I pull out my phone, dialing Marcus's number. Proceed with everything we discussed, all of it. Mother's smile falters. What are you doing? Teaching you about consequences. I meet her gaze steadily. You wanted a war? Congratulations. You've got one. As I walk out, Megan calls after me. I turn to see her holding Dad's desk. I'll keep it safe, she promises. For the first time, I see something of myself in my half-sister, a reflection of the same pain, the same determination to survive our mother's machinations. The game has changed. This isn't just about money anymore. It's about justice. Marcus's words hit like hammer blows in the conference room. They filed a restraining order. You can't go within 500 feet of the Harrison estate or contact Laura directly. On what grounds? Harassment, emotional distress, potential corporate espionage. He adjusts his glasses. Alan's lawyers are aggressive. They're also freezing any remaining joint accounts and assets pending investigation. Ryan squeezes my hand under the table. Can they do that? They can try. Marcus shuffles through papers. But that's not the worst part. They're claiming Frank's alimony payments were voluntary gifts, not court-ordered support. If it sticks, my phone buzzes. Megan, Mum's having movers pack up your remaining things. Says you have an hour to collect them or they're going to charity. I stand abruptly. This is exactly what she wants. To force my hand, make me violate the order. Don't give her the satisfaction, Dad says quietly. Another text from Megan. She's throwing out your graduation photos. Ryan catches my arm. I'll go. The order doesn't apply to me. No. I pull away. This ends now. The drive to the Harrison estate feels like a descent into enemy territory. I park across the street, technically outside the restriction zone, and watch the movers cart box after box to a waiting truck. Mother appears on the front steps, directing traffic like a conductor, orchestrating her revenge symphony. She spots my car and smiles, pulling out her phone, presumably to call the police. My own phone rings. Alan. You're making this worse for yourself, he says without preamble. Like you made it worse for Dad, stealing his alimony payments for your failing business ventures. That money was an investment in this family's future. Your future if you'd been smart enough to see it. My future? I laugh bitterly. You mean like the future you promised Dad's desk had at the dump? Speaking of futures, his voice turned silky. I had an interesting conversation with Thomas Peterson yesterday about certain proprietary information that might have been compromised during your investigation. The threat is clear. My career, everything I've built, balanced on a knife's edge. What do you want? Drop the lawsuit, sign a non-disclosure agreement, accept that your mother knows what's best for this family. Through the windshield, I watch Mother supervise the disposal of my life. A photo album falls, spilling memories across the driveway. She doesn't even glance down. You have until tomorrow to decide, Alan continues. After that, the Petersons will be very interested in reviewing Oracle Tech's security protocols. The line goes dead as a police cruiser pulls up. Mother's smile widens as she points toward my car. My phone buzzes again. Megan, found something you need to see. Meet me at Riverside Park in 20 minutes. Come alone. The park is deserted when I arrive. Megan sits on her old favorite bench, clutching a leather portfolio. I took this from Mum's study, she says without looking up. It's everything. Documents, letters, photos she didn't destroy. There's even stuff about Alan's company that, well, you should see for yourself. Why are you helping me? She finally meets my eyes. Because yesterday she started talking about my future the same way she used to talk about yours, about suitable matches and social obligations and living up to the Harrison name. I saw my whole life mapped out in her words, and her voice cracks. I don't want to become her next project. I open the portfolio. Inside, years of carefully documented manipulation unfold in Mother's precise handwriting. Bank statements, investment records, correspondence with Alan's lawyers, dating back to before the divorce. There's more, Megan whispers, about what really happened when she left Dad, your dad. It wasn't like she told everyone. My hands shake as I turn the pages, each revelation worse than the last, building a picture of calculated destruction that spans decades. What are you going to do? Megan asks. I close the portfolio, decision crystallizing like ice in my veins. Exactly what she taught me to do. Play the long game. Because Mother's greatest lesson wasn't about social climbing or maintaining appearances. It was about patience, and revenge is a dish best served cold. 6 months of careful planning collapse with a single email from Oracle Tech's HR department. My hands shake as I read it again. Pending investigation into allegations of corporate espionage, immediate suspension, required to surrender all company devices. Ryan stands in our kitchen doorway, his own termination notice in hand. Alan must have friends on the board, or Mother pulled strings through the Peterson connection. I close my laptop. We both know she never does anything halfway. My phone lights up. Megan's third call today. I let it go to voicemail, like the others. After last week's revelation about her role in monitoring my activities for Mother, trust feels like a luxury I can't afford. Marcus called, Ryan says quietly. The restraining order's been extended. They're adding harassment charges over the portfolio documents Megan gave you, which conveniently disappeared from evidence. I laugh, hollow and sharp. Another setup. I should have seen it coming. The doorbell rings. Through the peephole, I see 2 police officers. My stomach drops. Miss Harrison, one holds up a warrant. We need you to come with us. The interrogation room is cold, sterile. Detective Morris slides photos across the table. Screenshots of emails I never sent, financial transactions I never made, meetings I never attended. These paint a concerning picture, she says. Industrial espionage, fraud, harassment. Mr. Harrison's company lost millions due to leaked information. Those documents are forged, like the portfolio your sister gave you, the one you claim disappeared. She raises an eyebrow. Your mother's quite concerned about your mental state, says you've been fabricating conspiracy theories, making threats. Of course she does. She's offered to drop charges if you agree to psychiatric evaluation and treatment. The pieces click into place. This isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about discrediting me completely. Dad meets me outside the police station, looking older than I've ever seen him. I mortgaged my apartment to post bail, he says. It was all I could do. I'm sorry. The words feel inadequate. I never meant to drag you into this. You didn't. Laura did, years ago. He hands me an envelope. This came for you at my place. Inside is a letter from Cambridge University, confirming Megan's enrollment, funded by the last of my education trust. Below that, a note in Mother's elegant script. Some lessons require sacrifice. Consider this your final education in family loyalty. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Mom knows about Ryan's startup plans. Says she'll make sure no investor touches it. Please, just stop fighting her. Megan. That night, Ryan holds me as I finally break down. We've lost everything, I whisper. Our jobs, our savings, your company's future, all because I couldn't let it go. We haven't lost each other, he says, but there's a hesitation in his voice that wasn't there before. Morning brings more devastating news. Marcus calls early. Alan's lawyers are pushing for criminal charges. With the fabricated evidence they've planted, you're looking at serious jail time unless I agree to Mother's terms. Psychiatric commitment, a full retraction, and a binding agreement never to contact any member of the Harrison family again. He pauses, including Megan. I stand at our apartment window, watching the sun rise over a world that seems to be closing in from all sides. Mother's chess pieces are perfectly arranged. My career destroyed, my reputation in tatters, my relationship strained, and my freedom hanging by a thread. The torn photograph sits on my desk, Dad's missing half a reminder of everything that's been taken. But as I stare at Mother's smiling face in the remaining piece, something shifts inside me. She taught me well, about patience, about planning, about the art of destruction. But she forgot one crucial lesson. Sometimes you have to lose everything to see what really matters. My phone buzzes again. Another unknown number. Not all evidence disappeared. Some copies still exist. Meet tonight if you want the truth. A friend. It's probably another trap. But at this point, with everything stripped away, I have nothing left to lose. And nothing is more dangerous than someone with nothing left to lose. The Harrison Estate's security lights cast long shadows across the manicured lawn as I approach the garden gate. My mysterious informant chose midnight for our meeting, fitting for what feels like my last stand. Instead of a stranger, I find Megan perched on the stone bench, clutching a laptop. Her hands tremble as she opens it. I made copies, she whispers, of everything, the real documents, not Mother's fabricated versions, including what she did to Alan's first wife. Before I can respond, floodlights blast the garden in harsh white light. Mother emerges from the shadows, Alan close behind. I'm disappointed, Megan. Mother's voice carries that familiar note of calculated disapproval. Though I suppose betrayal runs in your sister's blood. It's over, Laura. I step between her and Megan. The truth's coming out, all of it. Truth, she laughs softly. You still don't understand, do you? Truth is whatever people believe. And right now, they believe you're an unstable, vindictive daughter who couldn't handle her parents' divorce. Show her, Megan says quietly. I open the laptop, turning it toward Mother and Alan. Karen Harrison's suicide note. The original version, not the one you doctored for the police. She knew about the embezzlement, didn't she? About how you and Alan were stealing from her family's company. Alan's face drains of color. Mother's smile hardens. You drove her to kill herself, I continue, then used her death to gain control of the company shares. Just like you tried to destroy Dad, and now me. Careful, Ella. Mother's hand slides into her pocket. Some accusations can't be taken back. I already sent copies to the police, and the SEC, and Karen's family. You're bluffing. Am I? You taught me well, Mother. About patience, about keeping evidence, about playing the long game. She pulls out her phone. One call and your father loses everything. His job, his apartment, what's left of his reputation. Already taken care of, Megan interjects. I transferred enough proof to his lawyer to protect him. It's done, Mom. Mother turns on her, fury crackling through her composed facade. After everything I've done for you, the opportunities, the connections, your future. My future? Megan stands. You mean like Karen's future, or Ella's, or anyone else who got in your way? Alan, Mother snaps, call security. But Alan backs away, his carefully constructed world crumbling. The SEC? Karen's family? His voice cracks. What have you done, Laura? What I had to do, for us, for our family. There is no us, I say quietly. There never was, just your next move, your next victim, your next scheme. Police lights flash at the front gate. Mother's mask finally shatters. You ungrateful little... She lunges for the laptop. I sidestep, letting her momentum carry her forward. She stumbles, catching herself against the stone bench. For a moment, our eyes meet, and I see something I've never seen before in her gaze. Fear. I learned from the best, I tell her. About sacrifice, about loyalty, about consequences. The police are in the garden now, reading rights, securing evidence. Alan goes quietly, already negotiating. But Mother stands frozen, watching her carefully constructed world collapse. You'll regret this, she hisses as they lead her away. Both of you, you're nothing without me. Nothing. Megan's hand finds mine in the chaos. I'm sorry, she whispers, for everything, for helping her spy on you, for not speaking up sooner. You did now. That's what matters. As the police lights fade, we sit on the garden bench, surrounded by the ruins of Mother's empire. Dawn breaks over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of possibility. What happens now? Megan asks. I think of Dad, finally free from Mother's threats. Of Ryan, waiting at home. Of the truth, long buried, but finally unearthed. Now we build something new, I tell her, something real. Because in the end, Mother's greatest lesson wasn't about revenge or manipulation, it was about choice. And tonight, we chose truth over power, justice over vengeance, and each other over everything else. That's a lesson she never understood. The courthouse steps feel colder than they should in spring. Mother stands at the top, designer suit exchanged for prison orange, as the guards lead her toward the transport van. Her eyes find mine in the crowd. For a moment, I see past the mask, past the carefully constructed facade of control and superiority. I see something raw, something almost human. Then it's gone, replaced by that familiar steel. Even in defeat, she refuses to break. She took a plea deal, Marcus says beside me. 15 years, plus restitution to Karen Harrison's family and your father. And Alan. 5 years, reduced sentence for cooperation. The SEC is still unraveling the financial web. Dad approaches, looking lighter than I've seen him in years. The weight of Mother's manipulation finally lifted from his shoulders. Ready to go? Almost. I turn to Megan, who's been quiet all morning. You sure about this? She nods, clutching the envelope containing her withdrawn acceptance to Cambridge. I need to find my own path, not Mother's version of it. The four of us, Dad, Ryan, Megan, and I, walk away from the courthouse together. Not the family Mother tried to erase, but something new, something real. At home, I find the torn photograph on my desk. Mother's half smiles up at me, still trying to control the narrative even from prison. I take Dad's half from my drawer, carefully aligning the torn edges. The doorbell rings. A courier holds out a package. One last delivery from Mother's lawyers. Inside, I find a single sheet of paper in her elegant handwriting. You think you've won, perhaps you have. But remember who taught you to play the game. Remember whose daughter you really are. Someday you'll understand why I did everything I did. Someday you'll thank me. Ryan finds me in the kitchen, the letter crumpled in my fist. You okay? She still thinks this was all about winning. I smooth out the paper, about power and control and making people bend to your will. Wasn't it? About revenge? I thought so at first. I look at the restored photograph, not just the image, but the truth it represents. But it was about something else, something she never understood. The sound of laughter drifts in from the living room, where Dad and Megan are assembling furniture for her new apartment. Simple, honest work. Real connections. I take Mother's letter to the sink and strike a match. The paper curls and blackens, her final attempt at manipulation turning to ash. You know what the hardest part is? I tell Ryan as we watch it burn. Part of me still loves her. Part of me always will. But I finally understand. Love shouldn't require sacrifice. It shouldn't demand destruction. So what now? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. A news alert. Alan's company stocks are plummeting as more revelations emerge. The empire mother, built on lies and manipulation, is crumbling. But that's not my concern anymore. I head to the living room, where Dad is teaching Megan how to sand wood properly, just like he taught me years ago. Their laughter mingles with the scent of sawdust and possibility. Need another set of hands? I ask. Dad looks up, his smile reaching his eyes. Always room for one more. As we work, I think about Mother's words. Remember whose daughter you really are. She meant it as a reminder of her influence, her lessons in power and control. But watching Dad show Megan the same patience and care he showed me, I realize I am my father's daughter. And that's the victory Mother never saw coming. Not revenge or destruction or power games won, but this, the simple act of building something true, something that can't be torn apart or erased or manipulated, something that will last. I take the restored photograph and pin it to the wall, not as a reminder of what was lost, but as proof of what can be rebuilt. Whole, unbroken, real. Mother taught me how to tear things down. Dad taught me how to build them back up. In the end, that made all the difference.